Record clap right here. All right, here we go. So you guys are just going to have to click the thing. So I'm really excited about this Zoom call tonight, guys. This has been a long time coming, and you guys are probably wondering what we're going to be talking about. This is actually going to be a one-man band tonight, and I'm really pumped up about it because we're talking about something that every single one of you has talked to me about this month. And I listen to Ashley Mayfield. Anybody else listen to Ashley Mayfield here? She talks about how if you are getting multiple questions from your team that involve the same exact thing, that it's something you have to do a training on. So we are here to do a training on potential distributors. So raise your hand if you are nervous or you are confused or you are having trouble signing people as distributors. And this is mainly to show that you're not alone, okay? When I first started my business, it was like the hardest thing for me to start actually believing in myself and learning how to sign people consistently. And you know what's really crazy, guys? I want to share this with you because every single one of you that's on this Zoom call right now is a result of me taking the time to get on a Zoom call just like this, and me taking it and running with the tips and the tricks that I learned on it. So if you're on this Zoom call right now, that's kind of like how it was for me when I first started, right? So you're literally duplicating exactly what I've done. And this just proves that if you show up to the Zoom calls and you take what you learn and you run with it, you're going to create the same exact success. Okay. And like, that's living proof. You guys are all on this Zoom call. You're all my downline distributors. So obviously it works what I'm going to tell you guys. Okay. So I'm going to go down the list. There is 10 different things that I'm going to talk about. I am getting over being sick. So if I am winded, that is literally why. But I'm going to share with you guys 10 different tips, and I'm going to elaborate on some of them. And some of them are very self-explanatory, and I'm not going to get too far in detail with them. Okay. You want to make sure that you're taking notes on this. And when we get off of it, it's one thing to get on a Zoom call and listen to what I'm going to share with you guys. It's another thing to take it and utilize it and actually work on these things every single day. I want to make sure that I share with you guys before I even get started that nobody's perfect. We all go through the same things every single day. We all are going through some type of hell. We all have some type of things that are going on. We all have kids. We all have craziness happening. I hear your guys' stories every single day. And trust me, I've been through a lot of the stuff that you guys are going through too. And you know, when it comes down to running this business, you're going to learn that the more authentic you are on Facebook, the better. The more you share your journey, the better. Guys, I had COVID for like literally 2 weeks straight. And I shared the whole thing with people. I shared exactly what was going on. I shared what my life was like. I shared the business side of it. I shared, how hard it was at some points. And, I've been through the hards. I've been through the easies, and I've been through all the craziness, and I just share it. I'm very authentic on Facebook. And so that's one of the biggest things that you want to take from this training. Okay. So number one of the biggest things that could hold somebody back from signing distributors, and this is like one of the biggest things, okay, is mindset. Mindset is literally everything. If I keep looking off to the left, it's literally because I'm reading off of my notes that I like jotted down everything on, okay, because I got, mom brain. So when you're thinking about mindset and growing your mindset, you have to understand this, that you can't attract someone who is at level 10 when you are still on level 2. Okay. What I mean by that is if you're getting started and you are brand new, you're just getting started on your growth journey. There are people out there who need this business and who will stay consistent and who will work it consistently with you. But sometimes when we come in with not so great mindset, because of maybe the things we've been through, the people that we surround ourselves with, the people that are at our job or our workplace, all the things that we're going through currently in our life and all the stresses that we have, right? So and especially if you're not growing yourself as a person, right, when you come in at a lower level than what you really need to be at to be a successful leader, okay? So the only way to attract someone who's at a level 10 is to grow yourself. How do you grow yourself? By listening to books, reading podcasts. Okay. Every single one of you that got started reads books, right? And we got you started on a book right when you got started. Some of you guys started with me when I first got started. We didn't do that back then. Now we learned that it's very important, right? So we always get our downline distributors started on books right when they come in, because they can't attract the people that they need to have on their team if they're not growing, right? So making sure that you're growing. If you're feeling stuck in your business, one of the biggest reasons why we feel stuck is because we're not growing. So anytime that you feel like you are, in quicksand, or you're, rubbing your tires and your tires are roasting and you don't know how you're going to get forward, right? Most of the time it's because you need to grow. I just had this conversation with someone earlier today, and it's so crazy how this person literally acknowledged that she needed to grow, right? And that's the first step to leadership, is knowing that you need more. So, people need to see this journey along the way. They need to see your growth journey. They need to know that you're reading, that you're listening to podcasts, because the more that you're growing and the more that you start to give them that little uncomfortable feeling, the more they're going to want to follow you, because they're growing from your journey, from watching you and seeing you. Another thing is that a lot of people don't know is that the people that you start your business out with, let's just say you get started. You sign a couple of people or a few people, you go Ruby. Those people that got you to Ruby, chances are 99% of the time, they're not going to be the people who get you to Emerald. The people who got you to Emerald are probably not going to be the people who get you to Diamond. The people who get you to Diamond are not going to be the people who get you to Double Diamond. And it's really important to understand this, because how many of us sign distributors, and those distributors that got us to that rank where we were so excited don't want to go any further. The reason why is because their mindset has not grown to that next level yet. And it's okay if they're not wanting to move forward, but we are in control of us moving forward, right? So I think back to my journey, and I like to share a little bit about like me, because like my journey along the way, because I feel like the more that you hear me out and you see that like I'm a diamond leader, the more you're going to see that your journey is going to go in a very similar way in some senses, and it can go even better than mine in some senses, So when I first started this business, I promoted to Ruby within my first like 7 months. The people that got me to Ruby are nowhere to be found. I have not talked to them since I went Ruby. Okay. When I went Emerald with a specific group. One of the people stayed to work with me on my Diamond, and they were going Emerald. The other person quit. Okay. I went Diamond with that other person who was a part of my Emerald chart, but then she quit immediately after I went Diamond. Okay. So it's really important to understand that not everybody is at your same growth level. Not everybody's going to stick it out along your entire journey. But what we have control over is whether we stick it out, whether we keep getting up and going, right? So that was the biggest thing that I did, was I focused on me. I focused on where I was going, and I focused on the people who did want it. That's not saying that the people that are on your chart right now aren't ever going to get up and go or want to get up and move. It just means that that's not their time, and that's okay. It's okay if you're getting up and moving and they're staying there. Maybe they just have to watch you move forward, but they're not going to be the people who get you to that next level. You know what I mean? So that's number one. Number two, you get what you put out on Facebook. So let's just do this. Okay. I do this every single time I talk about distributors. In the chat, I want you guys to blow it up with qualities of someone that you wish that you would have on your team. What are some of the qualities of your dream downline distributor? What are some of the qualities of someone that you would want to work with? What are some of the things that you think would be good for someone to have as a quality getting started on your team? And you can blow up this chat, you can blow up our team chat, whatever works best for you. And I just want to see this because I'm going to use these as to help me along the way. Okay. Coachable, growth, I'm guessing that means growth mindset, determined mindset, learning, motivation. They're pouring in now. Coachable. That's a really good one. Committed, inspiring, resourceful. Resourcefulness is huge in this business. If you're not willing to be resourceful, it's going to be real hard for you. Okay. So these are really, really good. So when it comes down to it, I want you guys to really think about it. If you go and you look at your Facebook, do you think that it shows that you are coachable? Does your Facebook say anything about you having a growth mindset? Does your Facebook or your post or your Instagram post or your TikTok, does that show anything about being determined? Does your Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Reels, does that show anything about you being motivated or coachable or why you're motivated? Does it show you being committed to your goals? Are you consistent? Are you showing that you're resourceful, that there's some times where it's really hard and you don't know the answers, but you went and found the answer? Does your Facebook show any of that? Does your Instagram show any of that? Does your TikTok show any of that? Because right then and there, that could be your missing link. You're not putting out what you're actually doing for your business, right? For me, I want a hard worker. So guess what? I show on my Facebook every single day that I'm a hard worker. I want somebody who's willing to communicate with me. Communication is so key with me. I have anxiety, y'all. Like when it comes down to it, if you do too, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I need that communication. That's very, very important for me. When someone's not communicating to me, it's really hard. So I want to make sure that I'm showing that I'm communicating with my downline. So I will share little snippet conversations of like the funny thing that Haley said to me, or I'll share something that Shayna said, or I'll post about how Dana just earned a bonus, or I'll just make sure I'm sharing that we're having those conversations, because I want to pull people into my team that's willing to have a conversation with me instead of ignoring me every single day, right? That's important. So making sure that you're putting that out there. Are you putting out there who you want? Are you putting out there what you're doing for your own business every single day? If you work a full-time job, I just had a conversation with someone a couple weeks ago about, when I look at her Facebook, I didn't even know that if I was a stranger, I didn't even know that she worked a full-time job and worked this business, because there was nothing on that about that, right? So are you talking about what your lifestyle is looking like and where you're fitting this business into your life? Because if you're not, that's a good reason why you're not signing distributors that are similar to you. Okay. So important to make sure you're putting that out there for yourself. So we're going to move on to number 3. Number 3 is growing belief and confidence in your business and what you're doing. Okay. When I first started this business, it was really hard for me to believe in it because I didn't know the industry that I was working in. I had no idea what this business was about. I had no idea, what it would do for me. I had never made a paycheck before. I didn't do anything. I saw other girls earning bonuses, and I saw other girls, doing all the things and making all the money and just having such a good time in this business. But I didn't know if it worked because I had never really done it before. And so when I first started, I didn't realize that I had to surround myself with other people who were doing it and they were successful, because their belief was going to pawn off on me. Okay. How many of you guys have ever been around a really exciting person, someone who is excited about their life and really pumped up, and you almost feel it? Raise your hand. Like, you feel that excitement, you feel those emotions. Okay. So if you can feel those emotions, right? And this can go either way. Most of you guys, are probably a lot like me and have been around 1 or 2 negative people in your life. How many of you guys have been around a negative person and felt their emotions and it kind of sucks the life out of you? Right? I've been there too. And when it comes down to it, when you are around certain people, their energy kind of comes off on you. And so if you want to build your belief in this business, what do you think you have to do? You have to surround yourself with people who are excited about their business. You have to make sure you're having conversations with people who are excited about where they're going. people who are confident about their business, people who are confident about themselves, people who believe in you, people who are going to look at you and say, you know, you might have a lot of crap going on and you might have, you know, a crazy life just like me, but I believe in you and I know that you can do this, right? It is so important to have people in your corner that are going to believe in you to no end. And that belief is going to be something that you can borrow and you can take with you on your journey. And maybe you might not have an upline that can help you like that. Or maybe you might have someone, you don't have some like your direct enroller, but you have our team, right? Take their belief and borrow it. Go listen to a podcast from a top leader and borrow their belief. Go listen to stories of other women who have become super successful in this business. Go read the hashtag Caught in Adventure on Facebook. Type that right in the search bar. It's going to come up with a ton of stories. Go read those. Hop on any of the Zoom calls. I guarantee you're going to hear a couple of people's stories about this business. There's hundreds of them on YouTube. Matter of fact, go to my YouTube channel. Go check out hundreds of them. You're going to see that just by listening to those different stories and surrounding yourself with the right people and making sure that you're showing up on the Zoom calls every single week, that you're going to actually boost your belief and confidence in this business. And it's going to make it easier and easier and easier. And another thing that makes it easier is making sure that you're educating yourself on where you're going and what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you have big success or not. It matters whether you know exactly where you're going. And when I first started, the biggest thing with the confidence for me was that I may not have had a really big success story, but I knew exactly where I was going. And I knew that I wasn't going to stop till I made it happen. And I had a really big why that was really important to me. And I knew that I might not know all the answers, but I sure as heck know where to find them. I sure as heck know who to talk to find them. I sure as heck know what to search on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, to find those answers. And I was willing to do that. And people saw that as huge confidence because they knew that I wasn't going to stop till I got it. Another way that you can boost your confidence is daily affirmations. I know like Christina is huge on this. She has Post-it notes literally all over her house that talk about the type of person that she wants to be, the people that she wants to invite onto her team, the person that she wants to be in the future, and who she wants to bring into her life, and just spreading belief about herself and knowing who she is. So daily affirmations, you can write this all over your house. You can write this in a journal every single day. You can literally say it out loud to yourself in the mirror. It might seem a little silly at first, but I promise you these all work. So that is number 3. Number 4 is they have to like you, know you, and trust you. This is one of the biggest things that I feel like is very, very hard for people. And this is all about branding. Okay. When it comes to branding yourself, it is so important that people know who you are. So one of the things that I always ask people when they're saying that they're having a hard time branding, go look at your Facebook, Instagram, and Reels, okay, or TikTok, whatever you're using. Do people know who you are from that? Do they know that you have kids? Do they know that you are a real person? Do they know your personality? Do they know what you like to eat? Do they know that you're married or not married or whatever the situation is? Do they know that you believe in God? Do they know that you struggle with mental illness? Do they know that you are overcoming that? Do they know that you work on yourself every single day? Do they know that you work full time? Do they know where you're from? Do they know the climate where you're from? Like, do they know what you like to cook? What are your hobbies? Do they know what you like to do on Saturday and Sunday nights? Like, do they know who you are? Because if they don't know you, you're not giving them the opportunity to like you or trust you. And that can be a massive setback for people. When I first started, I didn't know how to brand myself. I had no clue until I figured out the 5 pillars. And that's literally where you write down 5 different areas of your life that you want to talk about. And then you sprout it out in subcategories. So for example, I would write family as one of them because that's important to me. Well, who's important to me in my family? And I'm going to start writing down the people who mean the most to me, right? My kids, Matt, those are a couple of great examples. My dogs, things like that, right? And then another subcategory is hobbies, and I'm going to write down, I love to cook. I love to try new recipes. So guess what? I'm going to post about different recipes that I love to try. I'm going to post a TikTok about it. I'm going to go post on my story about it. I'm going to go post an Instagram post, a Facebook post about it, right? I like to fish, right? So I will go take a photo of me out in the kayak holding a fish, and I'll post that. And I have a funny personality, so I'm going to make sure I put that out there. I'll say a funny joke. I'll share my personality on my story. I'll make sure that my TikToks talk about it and all that stuff. So it's so important to show who you are as a person. Branding is everything. And think about this. And I wrote these down just as examples for you guys. Okay. Christina wouldn't have gotten started with me if I wasn't going live and showing my growth journey. Did you guys know that? One of the biggest things that Christina watched me for, and she did it with her granddaughter, right? You remember me telling you that? Or you telling me that? She watched my videos with her granddaughter every single day. And I shared my growth journey, and she believed in me because of that. Haley wouldn't have gotten started with me if I didn't share my pregnancy story. She was pregnant at the same exact time. You see how she connected with me because of that? Samantha wouldn't have gotten started with me if we didn't have that conversation about how I used to work with a different company and it didn't work for me. You want to know how she related to me on that? Because she started with a different company too. I got right down in the depths of who they are and what they're interested in and the things that they love. And I met them where they were. And then I gave them the vision for where they could go. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why it's so important to share your journey and who you are. When you're being funny on your Facebook, guess what you're doing? You're attracting somebody to your team who is funny. They love the sense of humor. When you are sharing your growth journey on Facebook, guess what you're doing? You're attracting other people who are willing to grow. They're willing to learn with you. When you are on Facebook and you're talking about your kids, you're attracting other moms who need extra income. When you're on your Facebook talking about, Wendy she's a farm girl. She's on her, they're talking about what she's doing at the farm. She's going to attract other women who love that stuff. They love to be outdoors. They love to do stuff like that. You have to make sure you're showing what you're doing, who you are, because you will never find your tribe. You'll never find the people that you want on your team if you're not showing who you are. It's time to be vulnerable, and it's time to start being you 100%. And the people who don't get it, and the people who make fun of you, and the people who talk crap about you, and the people who tell you, why would you share that on Facebook? Just know they're not your people. Your people are the ones who are reading it in silence, waiting for the right time to send you a message. But they're trying to get to like you, know you, and trust you before they reach out to you. Your people are out there. Screw the people who, aren't there for you and aren't liking your post. They're not your people. They're not the people that God is sending to you. Okay. So making sure that you're branding yourself is everything. And there's YouTube videos on this all the time. Okay. People have to know you, like you, and trust you. If you go on your face, oh, yep. I already said that. Okay. So we're on number 4. So number 5 is consistency. Consistency is the key whenever you're doing anything in your business, no matter what. So I have these questions that I ask myself all the time, and I usually do like a reflection for myself. Are you seeing on your Facebook, are they seeing you work daily? Are they seeing that you're showing up for yourself every single day? Sorry, guys, my phone's dying. Are they seeing that you're showing up every single day? Are you interacting on your Facebook every single day? Are they getting likes on their photos from you? Are they getting comments on their photos? Are they seeing your posts? Are they seeing you on their stories when they watch their stories? Are they seeing your reels? Are they seeing your TikToks? Are they seeing your Instagram? What are they seeing? because the consistency is extremely, extremely important. If you're looking at all your posts and your story and you're saying, well, I'm not getting as many views as I thought I would, or, well, I'm not, seeing as many likes, or my TikToks aren't getting as many views, right? I hear this every single day from you guys. And one of the biggest reasons why is because the consistency is not 100% there. We're not sending as many messages as we need to. We're not adding as many people as we need to. We're not catching people's attention and catching their eye as much as we need to. And so sometimes it takes just stepping up and stepping into that and saying, okay, it's time to draw a line in the sand and say, today's the day I start staying consistent. Okay. So it's super important to remember that. And that's with Facebook. That's with interacting. That's with messaging. That's with growing. I'm going to plug my phone in really quick. It's okay. Just to make sure that I don't lose you guys. So that's number 5. Number 6, and this is a very important one. Okay. If you're not doing this, consider your business dying, because this is one of the most important things in your business that you need to do every single day. Are you messaging people? Are you asking everybody and their sister if they have ever thought about doing what you do? And here's some ways, and I'm going to give you guys some ways, just rapid fire. These are some great ways that I reach out to people, and I'm doing this like a crazy person. Okay. I want this bad. Raise your hand if you really want this bad. Keep your hand up if you want to go diamond this year. If you want to make $2,000 every single month or more from your phone to pay all your bills. Okay. I see hands up like everywhere. Okay. If you want that, you have to go crazy with talking to people. You have to make it a priority to literally go wild on these. And I'm going to give you these tips right now. Okay. So jot these down for yourself. I go down my friends list on Instagram and on Facebook. And I go send a message to as many people as I can, ask them if they've ever thought about doing what I do and do they know what I do. We have the messages in the messaging board, so I alternate them like crazy, but I make sure that I ask them that question. I ask tons of people that question every single day. People who view my story, I ask them the question, hey, thanks for checking out my story. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Boom, that's another question. People who comment on my post, I ask them, hey, thanks for the love on my post. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Simple, right? You're asking the question. This is a great way if you're doing a lifestyle post, just kind of, I put it in parentheses. If you're doing a lifestyle post, you post about what your daughter or your granddaughter is doing, right? And then people are going to flood those with comments and like them and stuff like that. People are more apt to like a photo of your kids or something that you're eating for lunch than they are about the business. And I promise you that. Okay. Go post one post every single day that has nothing to do about this business, nothing to do with it. Watch it blow up and then go ask every single person that liked on that post or commented on it. Hey, thanks for the love on my post. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? You can also post interactive posts like iPhone or Android. Breakfast or dinner. What are you having for dinner tonight? What's your favorite color? How old were you when you had your first baby? Very simple questions. Anybody who comments on it, hey, thanks for the love on my post. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? That's how you literally get that question out there like crazy. This is what I did when I first started. Green light messaging. What that means, and some of my girls who have been with me for a while know exactly what this is, but some of my newbies don't. Okay. Green light messaging is when you go to your messenger and you click on the people that are online right now and you go send rapid fire 10 to 30 messages asking people if they've ever thought about doing what you do. Doesn't matter who it is, just send the message, send it out. Because the more that you ask that question, the better. Okay. Another way that I do it, and this is just recent, it's been fire for me. Asking people, going to their profile, looking at the city and state that they're from, and then sending them a message saying, hey, you're from blank. So if they're from Maine, hey, you're from Maine, right? They're going to answer me. Then I'm going to go ahead and send them a message that says, hey, I'm expanding into your area and I work completely from social media. Have you ever thought about doing what I do, or do you want some info? Keep it real simple. You can tell them where you're going and what your vision is. You can tell them, I used to be, a full-time worker, worked, this many hours a week. And now I'm working on a residual business that's going to take me here. That's going to allow me to blank. Okay. Notice how I didn't tell them about my accomplishments. I didn't tell them anything about where this business has taken me so far. It's that simple. When you're sharing your story, people don't care what it's done for you. They care about you meeting them at where they're at by sharing where you were when you first started and sharing with them where it's going to take you. Okay. When you say it like that, you're giving them vision and they're seeing, oh, okay, so she was working full-time like me, but that's where she's going and I want to go there too. Okay. So important to understand that anytime you're talking to people, they don't care where you are right now. They care about where you're going. That vision is important. Anyone that haps for you, at the end of your hap, we have that message that's in the boards. It's literally my go-to. And I say, hey, don't know if this is for you, but have you ever thought about doing what you do? Because that's how easy it is. Okay. So I always send that message whenever I'm doing my happy birthdays. And what I mean by happy birthdays, if you guys don't know, every single day I go to my Facebook and I type into the search bar birthdays. And when I type that in, it comes up with every single person that has a birthday on that day. I go send that person, happy birthday, beautiful. I hope you have a great day. Okay. It's more personal. I send it in a message. After that, I click on our mutual friends and I send every single one of them, usually a host to post message, or if I'm going for distributors, I'm going to go send them all a message saying, hey, I don't know if this is for you, but I noticed we had a few mutual friends. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? And do you know what I do? Simple, right? Keep it very, very simple. TikToks and Reels. When you're on your TikToks and Reels and you post something, sharing your story at the end, always put text info to, and then put your phone number. Telling you how many people I get from that, it is crazy. Some of you guys that are on here, I signed you from TikTok or Instagram Reels or even Facebook Reels. So it's really, really crazy how that works. Friends and family. If you have supportive friends and family, ask them, have you ever thought about doing what I do? Do you want some info on it? I can really give you the explanation on it. Okay. Have friends hap for DTs. Okay. I started doing this a while ago in Alabama. That's how I expanded into Alabama really, really big. I started having my Alabama friends post on their wall for me saying, my friend Chelsea's looking for people who want to make some extra income. Comment below or text info to her number. Okay. Keep it really simple. We have ways to do this too. So contact your upline if you want to know how to do this. Okay. Loyal customers, before they sign, like you've got their info, ask them the question, say, hey, you're ordering this product, but if you got started with me, you would get product in your kit and I'd be able to teach you how to make an income from home. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Question mark. Boom. You might have a potential distributor at that point. PLCs, anybody who says they can't afford the product or says that they can't do it right now, okay, no worries. I appreciate you getting back to me and communicating with me. Have you ever thought about doing what I do to make extra income? And do you know what I do? Right? Keep it very, very simple. So those are my rapid fire ways on how you can send messages to people, how you can get people's attention about this business. And guys, I can't even describe to you what I'm even saying when I say I go crazy on messaging for potential distributors. This is why I have so many people who are coming to me who are interested. This is why I'm building relationships like crazy, because I know that when I send that first initial message, people aren't getting started with me right off, but they're getting on my potential list. And that's all that it takes. They're going to get on my potential list. They're going to watch my Facebook. They're going to watch my Instagram. They're going to watch my TikTok. They're going to see my follow-ups every single time that I do one. And they're going to build that relationship with me, which brings me to my next point. Number 7 is the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay. When it comes down to it, people usually don't sign with you when you first get started. Think about this. How many times, let's put in the chat, how many times, rough estimate, did your enroller follow up with you before you actually got started. If you don't know how many times, but you know how long you watched her for, put it in the chat. I want to see exactly what it looks like. Because I'm going to be real with you guys. When I first started, I started watching this girl on my Facebook and I watched her for an entire year. I was that person who doubted it. 7 months, 6 months, 2 years. Ashley's just like me, skeptical. Okay, so when it comes down to it, I watched my enroller for an entire year. She followed up with me for more than 50 freaking times. 50 times. She messaged me, and I probably wasn't the nicest the entire time. I was really blunt. I was hurting, mental health issues like crazy, working nonstop, tired, exhausted mom. Okay. I was going through a lot of hell back then. And so when it came down to it, she followed up with me a lot. And the crazy part is that I was going through a really, really rough time in my life where I probably would have gotten in trouble if I did not get started in this business. I would have ended up dead or in jail or something like that because I was going down a really, really rough spot. A lot of you guys who know my story, you've heard it. You know what I was doing when I first started this business. I think about it this way. If she wouldn't have followed up with me 50 times, I would have never signed with her. Can you imagine where my life would be at right now if I didn't sign with her? Do you understand that if she did not follow up with me, none of us would be here. None of you would have met me. I would have never been so blessed to have all of you on my team. I wouldn't have never had the relationships and the friendships that I have. I would have never gotten myself out of the rut that I was in. I would have been struggling so bad just because she was nervous of following up with me. She was nervous of what I was going to say. Let that sit with you tonight. Understand that you could literally change somebody's entire life and the outcome of their life if you just sent that message. And what's the worst that could happen? They're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you to F off. Okay, block them, right? The block button is my best friend. I use it quite often. When it comes down to it, I am so grateful that she followed up with me. And I think almost every single one of you feel the same exact way about your enroller following up with you, because all of you have come so far. All of you have just become such great versions of yourself, and you're still going. You're still changing. You're still evolving. You're still doing great things. You're still showing up. You're still doing all the things. You still have a belief that you can be more and you can do more, right? You're still growing. You've done so much. So think about that when you're thinking about following up and building belief and confidence around following up with people. The fortune's always in the follow-up. And that one message could be your next diamond. That one message could literally be your next person who could blow your entire team up and could push you to diamond, right? It's so important to understand that. Creating urgency with your follow-ups is important too. So when you're following up, usually what I do is I send a message that says something like, hey girl, I've got a couple of positions left on my team. Do you want it? Or I'll say something like, hey, I just had a couple of girls get started from your area. Do you want to get started too? Right? Now we have the Klarna app, which has been huge lately because they can make payments on their starter pack. This is something that if you're not doing, message me directly and I will walk you through it. I'll show you exactly how people can do it. Okay. So now I'm sending follow-ups that say, hey girl, if I could get you started working with me just by starting making payments on your starter pack, would you be willing to do that if I could teach you how to make some extra cash? Right? I keep it really, really simple. The boards app is going to be huge for this. Over the course of the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of potential distributor follow-ups pouring into there. We already have some that are in there and they literally point it right out for you. They're laid right out for you. You can literally take them and run with them. If you go to your potential distributor, not even that, sorry, scratch that. If you go to your messaging board and click on follow-ups, Those are all the follow-ups. And some of them are for loyal customers, and the ones that are for distributors say PDT right at the beginning of it. Okay. So go check that out tonight. And those are what you're going to be sending to people. I follow up with people like crazy. I create conversations like crazy. When I'm going through to do my interactions, I'm going on people's stories and I'm saying, hey girl, saw this photo, your baby's so cute, right? Someone just had a baby, congratulations. Someone just got a new job, congratulations. Someone posted a selfie, be their hype girl. Hey girl, you're looking really beautiful today. Hope you have a great day, right? How many people would love to hear that every single day, right? That's who I am. I am their hype girl, and you are going to be their hype girl too. So when it comes down to it, I'm constantly doing that. And I'm constantly following up every single day. So I'm going to flip this around because I've got a couple more for you guys. So we've got number 8. Number 8, I promise you guys I'm going as fast as I possibly can. I'm trying to keep it underneath an hour. Okay. So number 8, have you written down how many distributors you need in order to accomplish your goal? You guys probably thought I was going to say that, right? That's definitely part of this training. You guys know that you are actually 10 times more likely to make something happen if you're writing it down. Because something that has to do with your brain and the pen and your mind and all the things all connected together actually make you commit to that a lot better, right? So I always say, make sure that when you're promoting, you're going for a bonus, you're charting yourself, you have it written down exactly how many distributors you need, okay, in order to accomplish that goal. Do you know why you need that many distributors? Do you know what distributors do for your actual business? Okay, this is where the residual income is created. I have, all of us, whenever you start promoting, you're going to have this income that consistently keeps coming in. And it's because you have to, because when those distributors start coming in, they start working. And when you're teaching them to make more money, they're making money and you're making money too, all in the same exact thing. So that's what I love about this business and this industry. The more you help other people, the more you get paid. The more you show other people how to grow their income and themselves and learn how to be better versions of themselves, the more you get paid. So make sure that you know where you're going. Make sure you know the chart. Make sure you write it down. Have it everywhere in your house. Count it down on your piece of paper. I like to literally put it weekly, and I love to have it so that there's like a box, like check boxes on my weekly calendar. And I will literally have it so that I know how many distributors I need every single week in order to hit my goal. Making sure that you know that. Number 9 is, have you shared your story? And this is a really big one. Okay. When I first started, I was really, really afraid to share my story. We're just going to show of hands. Okay. Who here is nervous to share their story and show people who they really are? I've been there. Okay. 100% I've been there because I didn't want the judgment to be there. I was nervous of what people thought of me. When I first started this business, the fear of what people thought of me was so big. But you know what was bigger? My want and my need to be successful for my child. So think about that when you're thinking about sharing your story. What's more important? Does your reason why you're here outweigh that fear and doubt? Because if it does, then at that point, that's what's going to push you. So focus on why you're here. Even share why you're here, right? It's going to help you grow. So I want to show you guys how to share your story tonight. And when it comes down to it, it's really simple to lay out. It's like probably one of the most simple systems I'm ever going to teach you. Okay. So right alongside with your pillars and learning how to brand yourself, you're going to share your story every single day. Guys, I'm not just talking when I say every day. You got to write a long post about who you are and everything every single day for your Facebook. But I am saying that people need to see on your social media platforms your story in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter how it is, how it's worded, or anything like that. So what I always recommend, especially to my new distributors that I'm teaching this to, when you're doing your story, you're just starting to do your story, take a piece of paper, write down these 5 bullet points and explain them in every way, shape, or form that you possibly can in writing. Write it down for yourself. The more you write it down, the more you can write it out, the more you can practice it. Okay. So that's what I always have them do. And then you're just going to start writing out your story and learning the different ways that you can actually share it from different point of views. So I'm going to go write down the 5 steps of sharing your story right now. You want to write this down and make sure that you have it out there so that you can do that exercise yourself. Number 1, what was your life like before this business? What I mean by that is, what was your financial status like? What was your mindset like? What was your belief in yourself like? What was your mental health status like? What was your, you notice how I'm saying it in past tense? The reason why I'm saying it in past tense is because that's where your life was like before. That's not where we're staying. We're going forward. I'm manifesting that for you, right? So where were you? What was your life like before? What was the time like that you had with your kids? What was your work ethic like? What was your work hours like? What did it look like? What did you feel like when you were walking into work every single day? What did it feel like when you were leaving your child every day? What did it feel like when other people were doing fun things and you weren't? What was it like? And you could literally expand 100 times more on this subject of what was it like before you got started. Think about your life before you got started. Write an entire page on what was your life like? What was it like every single day? What were your feelings? What were your thoughts? What was your mental status? What was your financial status? What was your relationship status? Okay. What was your life like? Now, when you're sharing your story, this could fluctuate. You could talk about the financial side of it one day. The next day, you could talk about the missing out on your child one day. The next day, you could talk about, your anxiety going through the roof because you had to be at work every single day. There's so many different parts that you could talk about. Number 2 on this 5 steps is, how did you find this business? This is one of the areas, okay? One of the couple of areas that's going to stay consistent every single time. How did you find this business? We all know how we found this business. We all know how it found us. Either someone reached out to us or we reached out to them. Either we were looking for an extra income or we weren't looking for an extra income. Either we wanted to do it, but we couldn't find something, or we didn't want to do it, or we didn't have a clue that there was something available for us, right? And someone reached out to us, or someone posted on Facebook and we saw it, or someone posted on their story and we saw it, or someone posted a TikTok and we saw it, right? What's that one way that you found this business or this business found you? Number 3 is, what were you skeptical about? This could literally fluctuate, okay? But it's usually generally the same type of concept. So like for me, for example, I was skeptical because I knew the girl that got started and she wasn't my person. She just wasn't my cup of tea. We didn't click. We had nothing in common as far as like our life or like our personality, I would say, not our life, because we did have a lot of common in our life. But we had nothing personality wise. I knew her work ethic, and because I had worked with her previously, and I didn't want to sign underneath somebody like that, but I did it anyways because I could connect with her on other levels, right? So I was also skeptical because I had never done something like this before, and I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of what people thought of me. I had no money, so I didn't think that I could get started. I struggled really bad with insecurity. I had anxiety really bad. I felt like I was broken. I was really tired. I worked nonstop, so I didn't have enough time. Guys, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Why I didn't want to get started and why I was so nervous about it. Okay. So you could literally expand out and talk about the reasons why. Number 4, what are you working for? What are you working towards in your business? Why did you say yes in the first place? What are you wanting to accomplish? What is this business going to do for you in the end? What are you working on every single day? That's number 4. So you notice how I'm not even talking about my accomplishments. Yes, if you have accomplishments, talk about them, but that's not what is like the key thing that's going to get you distributors when you're sharing your story. For me, when I first started, I started just like every single one of you guys. I had a story. No matter if I was brand new or if I had been in for 4 years, I had a story. And my story, when I was describing it as a Ruby or even as a distributor, I would say, my life was, really, really hard before. I struggled with anxiety. I felt like I was broken. I was working 80 hours a week, and I was broke as a joke. We were fighting nonstop over money in my household. My kid was getting a rundown version of me, and it really sucked. I found this business from a girl that used to work with me, and I was really skeptical because I knew her and I didn't really care to work with her. But I noticed that she was working and having dinner dates with her husband and not having to worry about checking her bank account. And she was paying for diapers in cash, and she was taking days off and not having to go to a full-time job. And that's what I wanted my life to look like. Right there, I just shared all 4 bullet points within less than a minute. That's how simple it is to share your story. Okay. And I didn't even talk about my accomplishments at all. And then the 5th thing about sharing your story is inviting them into your story. And what I mean by that is saying, I have a couple of spots open to work with me personally. Comment below if you're interested. Message me info if you're interested. Text 207 if you're interested. Comment VIP if you're interested. Comment info if you want more info. You're always going to invite them into your story at the end of your story. Okay. So that's how you share your story. And I want you guys to really notice that I did not share any of my accomplishments in my story. I shared where I was going. And that's what people want to see. They want to see where you meet them back where they were. And I met them back where I was because I was talking about how I was working 80 hours a week. You know how many people are working 80 hours a week and need a business like this? You know how many people are struggling with anxiety, depression, postpartum depression, ADHD, literally everything that I'm talking about every single day. And they need a business like this. How many people hate to leave their kids and they need a business like this, right? I'm meeting them back where they are, and I'm showing them the vision of where their life could go just by showing them where I'm going and what I want for my life, right? So it's so important to understand that when you're doing it. And you literally want to share your story so that your followers know your story verbatim. Now, when I first heard that, when someone said that to me on a Zoom, I was like, whew, that's a tall order, right? No, I I decided to keep going. I just decided to do it. I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I did it anyways. And I just said, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? Could I die? Could I die if I shared my story? Well, if I can't die, then what's the big deal, right? Could someone do something to me? I don't know. Nothing. Nobody's going to do anything to you. You're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen. The most I can do is people are going to judge you. But guess what, girlfriend? People are going to judge you whether you are, broke as a joke, whether you are a millionaire, whether you are doing whatever. Doesn't matter what you do in your life. There's always going to be these negative Nancys who are going to judge the crap out of you. And it has nothing to do with you. It's their personality. It's their mindset. And I want you to understand that when you feel like you're worried about what other people think about you just by sharing your story. Okay. You've got your people who support you, and it's right here on this team. You've got your family. You've got your people who are really in your corner. And if you don't have anybody that's in your corner at home and all you've got is the team, just know that you're going to attract your real friends. Just by being vulnerable, you're going to change somebody's life. Okay. And that should be huge. Whenever you are sharing it, huge tip. Okay. Whenever you're sharing anything about money, guys, make sure you're including the income disclosure statement. You can find this by going to your eSuite and go to your document library after you log in. type in income disclosure statement, and there are so many different PDFs that you can download, and you can actually take a screenshot and you can post that with your photo. Okay. Make sure you're showing your face when you're sharing your story. Show your face on Facebook, show your face on TikTok, show your face on Instagram. It's going to help you so much because people need to connect that. A lot of people are visual thinkers and visual people. I noticed someone by just recognizing their face and what their face looked like when I was reading their story. Okay. Very important to do that every single day. And another thing is something that could help you out is sharing somebody else's story too. So if you share your story one day, share someone else's story the next day, and share your story in your actual story on Facebook or on TikTok or Instagram or something like that. So that's really important. And this is the very last thing, guys. I promise you, I'm like rushing on this last one. Growing your network. Okay. I've got a few different analogies I'm just going to throw out to you guys just to kind of get you to understand why it's so important to grow your network. Okay. Think about your business like a storefront. And every single time that you allow someone to come into your store, that's like you're adding them to your Facebook. Okay. Now, once they get into your store, because you've added them into your store, right? Now you're going to ask them if they want to try the products that are inside your store. You're going to ask them if they're looking for a job. Okay. Some people are going to stay in your store. They're going to walk around, do a few laps, try some stuff on, and then they're going to walk out. Some people are going to come in, they're going to fall in love with what you got in your store, and they're going to be a lifetime buyer. Some people are going to walk into your store and they're going to say, hey, you're hiring, right? You're going to get them started, train them, and they're going to walk away. Some people are going to come into your store. They're going to get started with you. They're going to love your leadership. They're going to love the people that they're surrounded by. They're going to love the paychecks. They're going to love the environment. And they're going to focus so much on their reason why that they're going to stay in your store and work in your store for the rest of their life. Okay. So it's important to understand that when you're adding people and growing your network. Another thing is, and this is just, I'm going to throw out a few different analogies. Okay. Any of you guys ever played Sims before when you were a kid? I don't know. I was born and raised in the 90s. Okay. So that was a thing for us. And The Sims, you could create your own characters on it. It's a video game. Okay. I played this back when I was like friggin', I don't even know, like 9 years old or something like that. But you would create these characters and you would invite the neighbors over, and you could just like plant and drop people in your yard and stuff like that. Think about every single time that you add someone on your Facebook as being adding another character into it. Okay. And those characters, some of them are going to stay. Some of them are going to talk in their gibberish language and just, walk out and go walk back home. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So hopefully it made a couple of you guys laugh. But anyways, also you can think of your business like a farm. Okay. When it comes down to it, you're planting seeds. The only way to plant seeds is to get the seeds, right? How do you get the seeds? You have to physically go and buy them, or you have to get them from other plants, right? Or get them from the farmer's market, or Sally down the road who has them, right? Like you have to go and get the seeds. The only way to get those seeds is to add them. You have to add them. So think about your business like that. When you add them and you go buy your packet of seeds or go get your seeds in some way, then you're planting them. And that means you're messaging those people, right? When you plant those seeds, you have to grow them. How do you grow them? You post on Facebook. You post on Facebook. You update your story. You do your follow-ups. All the things. That's watering your garden. So take it or leave it, however you want to comprehend it, but you have to grow your network every single day. So I hope and I pray that this helps every single one of you guys grow your business. When it comes down to it, it is like a wildfire when you get started with momentum, talking and doing to all these different things. with multiple people on your Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The more that you do these things, the more you take my advice and you go and you run with it and you stay consistent with it, the more you're going to grow your business. It's all about these 10 things when you are getting new distributors coming into your life. Okay. So I appreciate you guys hopping on. And as always, I love you guys so much. And I hope you have a great night.